What's up, everybody? Rattlehead50222 here, the Stuttering Reviewer, and today, like I promised, we are reviewing, I don't even know if I'm worthy enough to do this, I'm gonna do my best, guys, the motherfucking #1 album, metal album of all time, in my opinion. Probably a 99% of metalheads out there agree that even if this is not their #1 album, this is in their top 10. If not, you're not a metalhead, you're a poser. So, that being said, the album Rust in Peace. I am so proud of Megadeth when they made this album. This just shows how great Dave Mustaine really is. Lineup change number 3. We got a couple of new guys. What I call the lineup. The lineup they have today is great. Don't get me wrong. Chris Broderick is amazing. But Dave Mustaine, David Ellefson, Marty Friedman, and Nick Menza, you can't replace Nick Menza. And Marty Friedman was just a talent unlike any other. You know, Chris Broderick is amazing, don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from any of those guys. I'm just saying this lineup here was perfect. And, you know, the lineup they got now is enough. We got to move on. I got a lot to cover, guys. I fucking love this album. It was released September 24th, 1990. Believe it or not, it took almost a year to record this album, 89 through 90. It was with, believe it or not, producer Mike Klink, and Dave Mustaine produced this album, both, but mainly Mike Klink. And it was the only album Mike Klink was on, and the only Megadeth album to date that Mike Klink actually started and finished an album. Normally, they hired a producer and in the middle of it would fire them. He was the only one to do it thus far, and the fourth effort, fucking badass fucking effort it was. One of the best albums of all time. You'll hear me say this a lot, and I'm probably going to be followed now by the NSA because you're going to hear nuclear and bombs and all kinds of shit. So, but anyways, Rust in Peace. It's 40 minutes long. It was the third album by Capitol. Everybody knows that. The first one was Combat. Combat was still through Capitol because they had, to finish their contract. Everybody knows that. Lyrics on the album are inspired from subjects as nuclear fallout, fucking religion, Area 51, war, fantasy. A lot of really, really good fucking lyrics in this album too. On the 33rd Grammy Awards, it was the album itself was nominated for Best Metal Performance, and also the song Hangar 18 was also nominated. And we all know they've been nominated 11 times and have not won any Grammys, which is sick. But we all know that they deserve it, and fuck the Grammys. You're gonna pick. Never mind. I can go on to that for hours. Lyrics-wise, badass album. AllMusic quoted this album as being one of the 1,001 albums you must hear before you die. That's pretty fucking cool, man. That's, because there is a lot of albums out there that you need to hear, and, for, someone to say that's known is really cool. The artwork is fucking awesome. Again, the artwork was created by artist Ed Repka, which we all know. If I said his name wrong, I do apologize. But he did a phenomenal job on Peace Sells But Who's Buying. It's cool because it's got the former Prime Minister John Major, former Japanese Prime Minister Tokisha Kufu, the former German President Richard von something, and then a former Soviet general, and the first President Bush. It peaked on the Billboard charts as number 23, which was a little low. And in the UK, it actually charted number 8. Again, when this record come out, you got to remember they wasn't really heard of. They wasn't mainstream. This Hangar 18 actually put them mainstream and actually got them heard. So 23 peak in position, when Countdown come out, that's when everybody started buying their prior albums. So You know, it was 23, but if it would have come out right after Countdown, it would have been #1. We all know this. So it's just the way it ended up. Doesn't take anything away. It's the #1 album, thrash album of all time, period to end. My opinion. I don't care a damn what anybody else thinks. It is my opinion. Let's get down to the tracks, guys, because 2 of these tracks are played at every show, damn near every show. First track, Holy War's The Punishment Due, and it's 6 minutes and some change of the most thrashiest, kick-ass fucking music you'll ever hear in your life. Holy War's The Punishment Due is probably my favorite Megadeth song. There's so many good ones, though. It's hard to put a #1 because Holy Wars is #1 today because I'm talking about it. Tomorrow it could be Washington Is Next. I mean, there's just so many songs. They got so many good songs. This group, you know, even Risk has really good songs. You know, some cool tracks. Not heavy tracks, but, you know, it is what it is. But they got so many good songs. It's just amazing. And, you know, they're one of the few groups that actually have that many good songs that you can't really put a #1 on there. But Holy Wars is damn near #1. I would, you know, there's a few ties. And the fucking solo and the riffs on it is just amazing. Dave's solo at the end of Punishment Due, can't touch it, man. Watch the video if you've never seen it. If you've been under a rock for 30 years, 20 years, and never seen it, look the video up, man, and watch the last about minute and 31 seconds of it. Well, hell, watch the whole thing, but make sure you pay attention to the fucking solo. Dave's solo, particularly, it's one of his greatest solos I think he's ever done. It's really fucking cool. Hangar 18's next, and this is a song that made him known. It was the Grammy nominated song. It was the song that, you know, when it hits the Grammy spot, even if you don't win, you're still on the TV. That makes you mainstream. That makes you heard. People go, they're nominated? I wonder what they sound like. And that's what they start doing. So, you know, whoever didn't know him knew him then, you know, when Hangar 18 hit. The video was fucking cool, man. You know, and back then, they were talking about Area 51 and stuff. The military denied Hangar 18 all the way up to like 2000. So, it's pretty cool, man, you know, considering, I mean, I don't believe in aliens. I believe in them to a certain extent. I believe there is other life out there. But I do believe there's drones flying up here right now watching us. In our own country. Yes, I do. Yes, yes. Next song, Take No Prisoners. Again, there's not a bad track on this album. Again, another fucking kick-ass a track. It's fucking just hammer fucking thrash. It's just great, man. Moving on, Poison Was the Cure. A fucking, you know, another killer song. It was one of the, if you want to say, okay, one of the lesser tracks on the song. I can't really tell you one that's not #1 potential. Poison Was the Cure, maybe. It's still awesome. I mean, there's just not a bad song on here. Lucretia, fucking kick ass. Tornado Souls, probably one of the best solos Megadeth's ever done. Kudos to Dave and Marty Friedman. Tornado Souls is when he broke up with Diana. This is what come about. Wow. He needs another relationship break, because wow, that's all I gotta say. Fucking killer song. Don Petro is a bass demon. David Ellefson did a fucking, you know, a lot of people, you know, Megadeth doesn't really have that much deep bass lines in their tracks. So David Ellefson's always overlooked a lot. I mean, all their bassists, you know, other than David Ellefson that they've had, you know, they're not known as a bass line track to band. But this song, man, you know, David Ellefson's a monster on the bass. He's really fucking good. You know, he's one of the founders of Megadeth, man. You know, Dave Mustaine is the founder, but you might as well say David Ellefson would be the co-founder, you know, if there was one. Moving along, Rust in Peace Polaris. Now, Rust in Peace is the shit. And if you don't know what Polaris is a intercontinental ballistic missile. It's a 50 kiloton warhead, intercontinental ballistic missile. It used to be the most powerful one in the late 80s, early 90s. then the Titans, and then the, you know, so on. So, Triton, I'm sorry. The album title was actually spawned from Dave was riding home from the lake one day, and he seen a bumper sticker, and it said something like, one nuclear warhead, you know, can ruin your day. May your warheads all rust in peace. And he thought, wow, what a cool name. And it is. You know, rust in peace is a fucking cool ass name. You know, there's nothing that you can say bad about this album. It's got my pick. It's on my top pick for the #1 album of all time. There's nothing bad about it. From start to finish. It's 40 minutes of pure pleasure. It's the fucking best Megadeth record by far to date. A lot of people, you know, like with this record that just came out, what I'm jamming to right now, Super Collider. It a lot of people now is saying, starting to like it more and more and more, and listen to it. It's a hard rock album, people. It's not thrash. So when you get used to hearing United Abominations, Endgame, and 13, which was back to their kind of thrashy roots, thrash, I call it not thrash, but hard metal, hard rock thrash. If there is such a thing, that's what they've been making the past few years, which is fine because it sounds good. Then they make an album that isn't as integral, but notice what they did with, you know, Dave will come back hard again. You know, this album's only gotten a 3.5 on Amazon, which is really bad. But I have a feeling it was the press that got, man. That's why I was dogging out all them people that were bashing the album before it come out. Because a lot of people are influenced by these guys talking. One of these guys that did a fucking review has got over 12,000 subscribers. You know, and some of them's youths. And, you know, if you're listening to this guy on a regular basis, and I'm not dogging him, man. I don't even know the guy. I'm not going to say his name. But, you know, a lot of these reviewers bashed this album, and it turned let's say it just turned 1 out of 10 off. Man, that's a lot of people, man. You know, and that's why I said you can't judge an album on one listen. If that's the case, you know, I wouldn't have liked, you know, anything. I mean, I always listen to an album 3 or 4 times. And every time I listen to this album here coming out, I find that I like another song on it. It's not Holy Wars. It's not Rust in Peace. It has nothing to do with Rust in Peace. But I'm just bringing a point across. You know, Megadeth does make fine thrash, and they make really good hardcore music. And we need to get out of comparing it to this wonderful album, Rust in Peace. Everything they made has been compared to this album. And nothing can compare to it, guys. No band making music right now, you can't compare it to Rust in Peace. It's that good of an album. It's that fucking good. You cannot do it. So, this album, I don't believe anything is perfect in the world, but it gets a 9.9. If anything was close to being perfect music-wise in my ears, it's this fucking record here. It's the shit. It's the fucking the most grooviest, thrashiest, thrastic, perfect fucking piece of music that's hit the fucking stream as far as metal-wise ever. In my opinion, ever. To this date, anyway. Now, maybe somebody will come along and make something better, but to beat Rust in Peace and Master Puppets, you better be fucking really fucking good. And I don't see no bands out there right now even coming close to them. So, for that being said, guys, tomorrow, Countdown to Extinction. We all know, really good album. I got a lot to say about it. I love it. Rust in Peace is beloved, my fucking favorite album. I love it. It's the best. Again, it's in my brother's fucking car, which I'm going to kill him because I told him to bring him back today. But it is what it is. If you have not heard this album, I don't know why you're even watching this review. But if you haven't, you are in for a treat, is all I got to say. Especially if you like metal music. You would love this fucking album. It's the greatest thing that ever hit the market. Enough. I've spoken enough. Comment below. If you like this album, like this review, subscribe if you haven't already. Rattlehead50222, the Stuttering Reviewer, out of here. Follow me on Twitter at Rattlehead50222. I'll follow everybody back. Rattlehead50222, again, the Stuttering Reviewer, out of here. Everybody have a fucking thrashing day and rock the fuck out some Holy Wars. Peace.